Hello everyone. I just want to do a vid on whether or not God can or did die for anyone's sin. This is something that's extremely crucial to the gospel, and it can make all the difference in the world in what the gospel is. And I just want to talk about the changes that God goes through if Jesus is God. Malachi 3:6, it should serve as a foundation. It should serve as what we know God to be consistently. And it should also be noted that this was written and this was scripture prior to Christ. And he says in Malachi 3:6, "For I the Lord, Yahweh, do not change. Therefore you, O children of Jacob, are not consumed." God is making a clear statement here that he does not change. If Jesus is God and he took on flesh, as Trinitarians or oneness believers will say, that's a change. Listen to your own words. Listen to them. He took on flesh. Why did he take it on? Because he did not have it before. That's a change. I'm trying to understand how is it that, I know there are those who believe in the deity of Christ, but maybe they're not enlightened, and maybe they haven't come across the evidence that Jesus is not God. But there are people out there that know these things that I'm talking about in this video. They've heard them before, and they still deny it. That's something I can't understand. So when he takes on this flesh, that's a change. But let's say I go with the fact that maybe Jesus or God always had flesh. So he didn't take on flesh. He didn't become flesh. Well, if that's the case, you have the dual nature of God has always existed and it's eternal. God has always been dual nature. He's always had the hypostatic union from the beginning of time. Well, but then the flesh dies. You got another change there. The flesh died. The divine nature continued to live. Well, the flesh dying is a change. That's a change in who and what Yahweh is. And then when the divine nature resurrects the flesh nature, you have another change. Just changing all the time. Like a Power Ranger or something. Like a chameleon. This whole idea of the hypostatic union and dual nature, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's erroneous and it destroys the gospel. God cannot die for anyone's sins, not directly, okay? He cannot do it. He can send someone, which he did. He can send someone who was perfect, who was sinless. But God can't die. He's immortal in every way. 100% of his being is immortal. So that's all I want to say about that. I mean, God can't die. I really don't know how else to say it. He can't die because he can't change, and he told you directly that he can't change. So whether he had the flesh prior to Christ, or whether he had the flesh when Christ came to be, whenever it happened, you have changes. You have nothing but changes in who God is from one part of the gospel to the next. Shalom.